It is estimated that around 1% of adults across the world have to face bipolar disorder at some point in their lives. That's approximately 1 out of 100 people. In popular culture, simple mood swings are associated with one having bipolar disorder. Of course, for those who have actually experienced having the disorder, this use of the term is simply incorrect and gives the wrong impression. I've come across two peers of mine who said they had bipolar disorder too, when I had opened up to them that I had it. It took me a while to convince them that they had misdiagnosed themselves. Bipolar disorder is not simple mood swings, but a medical illness that can cause people to get hospitalized and end their lives. For many patients, the disorder requires medical attention for a lifetime. There are many religious people who believe that this disorder is the result of judgment from God. They believe it is the consequence of either the bipolar person or his or her family member not living a moral life. Similarly, others view that the disorder is the result of bad karma. Well, medical experts and pastors with a degree of knowledge of the disorder will tell you that having bipolar disorder is not your fault. It is the result of both predisposition and stress related factors. In most cases, bipolar disorder is usually passed through the family, in which one or more of the patient's family members has a predisposition to the illness. These can be your own parents or another close relative in your family tree, be it your grandfather or cousin. In this case, you can analyze whether one of your family members has had any psychotic symptoms, suffered from any addictions, or faced some kind of mood disorder such as depression. It is not always easy to figure out predisposition because, in the case of those from older generations, people just live through the disorder without any psychiatric aid or care. However, it is important to note that bipolar disorder can occur in people without necessarily having a direct family member with the disorder. In this case, it will be due to the fact that such people have undergone stressors that were so drastic that the formation of this hormonal imbalance was inevitable. This leads us to the catalytic causes of bipolar disorder. There can be various catalysts throughout our lives that trigger a manic or depressive episode. This can be through the changing of one's physiology from certain medical conditions, but also external catalysts such as substance abuse, psychological trauma, and considerable amounts of stress. Personally, I would correlate the severity of my bipolar disorder to when I was severely bullied in my adolescent years. I had many moments where I could not control my emotions due to the pressures from the experiences. In terms of predisposition, I do have a family member that went through depression, although I am not certain that this was the main genetic factor that contributed to my illness. Hence, in most cases, the formation of bipolar disorder in people's lives is attributed to both genetic and catalytic causes. My missionary, who serves a bipolar congregation and has personally dealt with the disorder for almost 3 decades, uses a metaphor to explain predisposition and catalytic causes. He gives an example of a cup that represents ourselves and water levels of the cup that represent our potential of becoming bipolar. The water levels reaching the top of the cup to make it full represents the onset of one having bipolar disorder. Let's say a normal person starts out with a cup that is 50% full. This is a case where someone does not have a high predisposition. If that person gets triggered and stressed to the point where the empty area, the 50%, becomes full, he or she will become bipolar. This is the result of catalysts. In the case of people who have high predisposition, their cup will be more full to begin with. Let's say 80% full. Perhaps their parents or grandparents had a serious mental or mood disorder. It will only take another 20% of stressors, catalysts, that will make them bipolar. I hope this will give you a better understanding of what it means to have genetic and stress related factors which contribute to your bipolar disorder. Bipolar disorder is not induced because of a decision you've made or because you've lived an immoral life. Therefore, it is not your fault that you have it.